Hello everybody and welcome to Galome Elevation Talks. My name is Tumelo Siemule, also known as your favorite Galome. I'm coming live from my bedroom studio. I know it kind of looks cute, right? Which one day will be an actual studio, multi-million dollar studio. God, hear my prayer. Hear my prayer right now. Hear my prayer and make it happen. And if anybody is trying to make the dream happen for me, please, I'm a good investment. But all jokes aside, thank you so much for tuning in this week to another episode. And if this is your first time here, welcome. Welcome to the Galome Elevation Talks family. We're always looking for people with a story to share. We're always looking with people who want to share their experiences in order to help other people elevate their lives. So if this sounds like you, hit me up. In this week's episode, I will be interviewing someone that's very dear to my heart, someone that's very close to me. She's my sister. She is a family friend. She is my best friend's sister. She is also someone that I look up to and someone that inspires me so much with what she's accomplished so far. And just her philosophy on life is very beautiful. Some of you might know her as the bold journey girl. Some of you might know her as Nana, but in all her social media and across all platforms, she goes as Akosua Boadi-Agyemang. During this interview, we'll go through her philosophy on life, what her purpose is, what the bold journey is all about, where it all began, and where she sees herself headed in the next couple of years. I also throw in a bonus question to get some gist, to get some tea for you guys. If you've watched any of her interviews before, this one is definitely going to be one for the books. It's definitely going to be different and show you almost, I would say, a different side to who she is and what her life is all about. So stay tuned, and I hope that you enjoy this conversation and get a lot of value out of it, and that at the end of this conversation, you have been elevated. Mwah.
Hi everyone, my name is Akosua Boadi-Agyemang, and I'm here on Galome Talks to talk to you all about what the bold journey is and what that means to me. So basically, I've always been bold. My mom would always say Nana, which is my nickname, Nana be bold. So growing up, that was really ingrained into me. And so being an international student in the United States, I found really difficult. And so where the genesis of this hashtag, came to be is from, me putting up a viral post. I didn't plan for this post to go viral. I was not sitting in my basement rubbing my hands together saying I'm going to write the next LinkedIn viral post. Basically, what I wanted was an internship. The viralness of this post helped give impetus to me getting the internship. So basically what the post was in 2017, I basically said to myself, the methods that I'm using to get an internship were not working. So then I decided to utilize LinkedIn as a platform and a tool to write what I was looking for and be direct about it and explain the failure that I was facing, the rejection, whatever it may be, on a platform that was usually and is usually used to talk about successes. Especially at the time, 2017, a lot of people were using LinkedIn to talk about the usual I'm happy to announce and the successful post, which is totally all right. It's just that for me, I had no I'm happy to announce or success post to write about. And so that's why I utilize LinkedIn to talk about my struggle in finding an internship. Long story short, in terms of what the post said was basically, I've done everything from networking to going to conferences, and that wasn't working for me. And I was direct about what I was looking for. So to anyone who's on watching this and looking for a job, I would say be direct. And I basically just said, I'm looking for accounting or finance internships. If you're looking for talent, hire me. I gave a shout out to the CEO at the time, Jeff Weiner, who had about 8 million followers. And at the end of the post, I put, I was always told to be bold. Hopefully someday it'll pay off. And then 2 weeks later, Jeff Weiner commented and said, Akosua, nice job on your profile. I would be surprised if nothing materialized. And the reason I mentioned that he had 8 million followers is the way in which LinkedIn works is that if somebody comments on your post, everyone in their network sees it, and so on and so forth. So my post, that post got about over 2 million views. And when you think about where I grew up in the population of Botswana, has about 2.5 million people in the whole country. So you can imagine I was spiraling, thinking about that many people saw that post. And so a little bit about what happened after there is I started, talking about it more. I didn't initially get an interview. And so that's a little an internship. That's a little myth buster. A lot of people think of the post went viral and then I got handed an internship, but actually I didn't get an internship until February 2018. So 3 months after the post went viral. But in that space of time, I, met up with and spoke to a lot of people, and they said, that's a great bold post. However, we still don't sponsor international students. And, in December, a Microsoft recruiter reached out to me. She said that they'd fully hired for their accounting and finance, but they would like to stay in touch. She would like to stay in touch. So we spoke about things other than work. We spoke about stereotypes from our country. She was also a foreign national from Australia. And we just kept and built a relationship, which I would encourage everyone to view networking as building a genuine relationship. Which, January came around, and I remember telling my parents, I'm going to be the girl that went viral and got no job that came from it. But, God's plan. And so in February 2018, the same Microsoft recruiter reached out because, we had a relationship and said, hey, Akosua, are you still looking for internships? We spoke about it. I ended up doing all of the interviews, and they ended up selecting me for the sales operations program manager internship. And so every post since then, I would share my story and, the 360 view of the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. And all of it is curated under hashtag the bold journey. And so I had a wonderful internship in 2018. I accepted a full-time offer to go back to Microsoft and started there full-time in 2019. And, in this Galume Talks with Dumelo, we will talk more and get into the nitty-gritties of what the bold journey means to me and what it can mean for anyone else, because essentially we all have a bold journey in our own right. So thank you all and stay tuned.
Hello. Hello.
Hey.
You know what? Just for people to know, Nana is actually. Ooh, I just used the name from back.
No, it's fine. Me and Arnav actually go through that because he's like, dude, calling you Nana. Akosua is so weird. You know it. You know the vibes. You
know the vibes.
You can call me Nana. Like I already explained, that's my nickname, y'all. Go ahead.
Nana is my sister. She is a close friend of mine. We grew up together. She was once my head girl. I don't even know what she was heading, but she was a head girl of some sort. Her sister,
in high school. Come on, don't downplay my head girl mess.
Girl, I don't even remember you being a head. What was you doing? What was you doing?
She was head girl. Stop playing.
Yeah, she was a head girl. we grew up together, and her sister is actually my best friend. So as you can see, and also our families are so intertwined. Our family,
Yep.
like, girl, we come a long way.
Yep.
So this conversation is going to be a little bit different from all the other ones that we have. It's going to be very relaxed. It's going to be very laid back, because it's a conversation. And I'm just like interviewing my sisters, kind of like, I don't know, that feels a bit weird. That feels weird. But how are you? Let's start off with that. How are you doing today? How's your day been?
Good. I'm hungry. Cooking over here, but I have to pause that so that we can do this interview. That's what you do. That's how you show up for one another, right?
Welcome to Adulting 101 and supporting each other, girl.
I'm actually trying to be sober from ordering food because I have an ordering food problem. So I'm okay. I'm great. How are you doing?
Whew, girl, I'm good. I've had a hectic weekend though. But it's all in good terms. We're stressed, but we're stressed in a good way because you see the progress, ne? You see the huh?
What's hectic? I feel like I'm spinning this and turning it into me interviewing you.
Girl, and because you always be interviewing people. So
but what's making it hectic? Like
I have goals, right? And I also realized that I had set some goals in July, and by September I'd hit all those goals, right? So girl, I was literally taking everything off my list. I'm like, okay, this many followers gained, this impact made, that this show started, everything started. So I've set new goals that I'm supposed to hit by the end of this year. So this December is kind of right now where I'm at. I'm working on overdrive, right? I'm working to hit those goals and be like, you know what? I gave it my all. Even if I get close and I don't hit the goals, but I'll be like, you know what? I'll feel good. Like I hit it. I've literally been creating a whole lot of content. I've been shooting. I've been doing research. I've been connecting with people. The whole shaboom shebang. Yeah, it's been crazy, but you know what?
We love to hear not the stressed part, but like at least it's stressed and blessed for a good reason, right?
Hashtag stressed and blessed, my darling.
But let's get into it. Let's get into this conversation.
Yeah. So let's start off a little bit from while we were in Botswana. Did you ever think that you'd be in the United States? Was that a dream or did it just kind of happen?
I would say like I knew my parents always had a great view of how to push me and my siblings to basically achieve more, I would say, right? And they had mentioned higher education in the US is really great and stuff. So they really, pushed us, and a lot of grade schools are in the United States, right? And so I would say it was also a dream because it's like you're saying these things, but you don't know if they're gonna happen. So you're sowing the seeds. But honestly, I didn't even know if I was gonna go to university. Like, there was so many like I don't even knows. But you trust God and like God's plan. At least I do. My faith is like super big and super important to me. And so I like didn't know where in the US I'd be. I didn't know when I'd be there. I was hoping. But yeah, like I can't say I was 100% like I'm going to the United States of America. I didn't know that. Am I glad that it happened? Yes. I spent 5.5 years there, but like regret nothing, appreciate everything. And what about you? Did you ever know that you'd be in the US?
Girl, I keep telling people I did not know. I was kind of living my life, just kind of going through the emotions, right?
Right.
And I think a lot of people from where we're from are just letting life pass them by.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm probably going to go to school, then I'm going to go to UB, then that's it. I'm going to get a regular paying job.
is the University of Botswana, for those who don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, University of Botswana, and then keep it moving. So I was just kind of nonchalantly just going through life. So that opportunity to go to the high school that was in downtown LA, which is American University Preparatory School, where I got to, was a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally a life-changing moment.
Yeah.
Because also you see the people around you, and I'm like, oh, my family members just stayed in Botswana. They did school there. They fine. They working.
Right.
So I was kind of in the same mindset.
Exactly.
And I never thought it would happen, but once it happened.
Exactly. And honestly, for me, I would say like my older sibling went to school, university in the US and in Pennsylvania. And so I was like, okay, like, it's not impossible. It's like, I saw her do it.
But,
she never saw, anyone else do it. So like for her, it was probably like a different experience, a different story. And so I think it's that like representation also. And so she like, I guess, paved the way for me, and for me and my sibling, my younger sister, to do the same, right? Whereas I know we've spoken, you and I, and like you didn't have that. You didn't see. You're the first to like
first generation. Breaking generational curses. Hashtag. Come on,
we love that. No, we love that. But I think it's really interesting. Yeah.
So I was gonna say, we all know that coming to the US, girl, it ain't child's play when it come to money. It ain't child's play. My parents took out loans. They struggled to get me through high school, right? It was loans on loans on loans, debt on debt on debt, selling things, selling here, selling that. It was a rough time, ne? Although I had a scholarship, of course, the conversion currency is a different story, right? So how was that experience for you? And like, if you got like financial aid, scholarships, how did you find that? Because I think a lot of people wonder where we get these things when sometimes they're right in front of your face. But how did you find yours?
I heard that shade, but no, I honestly searched. People ask me this all the time. If you saw my PC back then, I had probably like so many tabs open on one browser. So many. It was like I was like scholarships for students from Botswana, scholarships for Africans, scholarships for Africans who want to go to the United States, scholarships for international students, scholarships all of these. I would search and search all Google. My fingers were hot on the
because it's all there.
It's all there, and I would search and search and search and search. Because obviously I mentioned my older sister did it, right? And like she got a scholarship, but still you see how your parents struggle to help like your sibling, and you're like, man, I don't want them to keep struggling for me. So I would search and search. And going back to why the hashtag the bold journey came about, it's like pretty much I've always had that boldness and like directness and willingness to be like a go-getter. Okay. So like if something isn't like right in front of me or like handed to me or whatever, if I want to achieve it, I'm gonna pound that pavement until ceiling. Y'all know that quote, or you may not, but now you know it. So, I pound
what was the quote again?
Pound the pavement till you shatter the ceiling. The glass ceilings placed on you. And so I searched for scholarships, and also I use like common application, and where you can like apply to like multiple universities through that. So I did that, and I asked my like headmaster, who was like my counselor. He knew like applying to university isn't cheap, y'all. Those fees, and then the conversion rate. So people here is like, oh, okay, it's $50, but once you convert that to like Botswana currency, that's so much money.
That's a lot.
And so per an application, and so I waived, like he did it so that he waived the fee. So I was like, universities. I think I applied for like over 20 universities. Which was pretty insane.
Girl, you really wanted that. You really wanted it. You were hungry for it.
I wanted it. And I saw, like, I was applying to the schools that I found that give scholarships, right? And so obviously I'd use Common App with like the school's like application, because some of them want another one. And then I found like scholarships. My university, so I went to Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. It has no affiliation to University of Miami in Florida. I applied to that one too, and I got into that one, but they don't, at the time, international student tuition, and then the scholarship, the financial aid for international, it wasn't matching up. My university, Miami University in Oxford, Ohio, they gave money, honey. Okay. And so a lot of people are like, oh, I want to go to the big prestigious, which Miami University is a public Ivy. So which I'm not gonna get into that, but it's a good university, right? And so I knew I wanted to go for business and stuff. So it's a good university. It's not a Harvard or a Princeton or a Stanford, right? But it's a great university. And I say this to say, find what fits, okay? For me, I chose my university. Yes, the business school is great, and I like went for business, but also the financial aid that they were giving was well and way above any of the other universities. I got into like 16 universities.
Okay, now come on,
like over 20, right? And so I just went with the one that gave me the most money, honestly.
Which makes sense.
Because when you're an international student, honestly, unless you're like balling and big and rich, like you don't really have the privilege or luxury to say, I'm gonna go to like a private university or big university and I'll pay out of pocket. Because those international fees, and then when you take that and convert it back to your home currency, honey,
it's no child's play.
Yeah, so I would search. I would even search like the U.S. Embassy website, because they have like Education USA or something, and you can like search like scholarships. MasterCard has a scholarship. I would search.
Wow, I didn't know about most of these scholarships.
Yes, I would search so many. I've had so many browsers every single day for me in 2014. Yeah, the whole of 2014. Every single day for me was searching universities, searching, even going into 2015, like early 2015, because I only applied to Miami University like the last day they were accepting applications. And I think that was like February 15th or something. And so, yeah, like did all the standardized tests like SATs, TOEFL, whatever. But yeah, like I applied, I searched
everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere, high and low. As long as I had internet connection, I would be searching. Okay.
Because and just to interject a little bit, like a lot of people also will like say, yeah, I want to be in the United States, I want to study in the United States, but to actually do the searching of the scholarships and all these things, they don't do it. You know how many questions I get asked all the time as well as you. How did you get the scholarship? How did you get to America? Where can I find scholarships? If you really want it, everything is literally online these days. All the scholarships you're looking for, you can find online.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's true. I think it's like the grit, but also, the other factors. I mean, yeah, you can go to like an internet cafe, like if you don't have internet at home.
Oh yeah.
But other factors, like if you can't reach an internet cafe, then you like have no internet at home.
Yeah, the access part of it.
Yeah, that's also part of it. But I would say like people who do have access, people who do go to like schools, like high schools, like we went to and stuff. I see where you're coming from, because like those questions and stuff, like it is a lot of searching. But I would say while searching really helped me, the support from my parents, which I also count as like a blessing and a privilege as well.
Ooh, girl,
very much helped me, because my parents were like, you can do it, like keep going, like they would tell me like, girl, like you can do more, you can do better, like we believe in you, like all of
And you love your parents so much. I
I'm
understand why.
obsessed with my parents. I'm obsessed.
If
Like,
y'all know Nana, you'll see her always posting about her family. She's always posting her mom, pictures of her mom, her dad.
I
Those two
love,
especially are like,
they're my best friends, and
I
it's
know.
like my best friends with still the respect of the fact that they're my parents, but I
Mm,
can go and talk to them about anything, you know. And
mm,
I mean,
mm.
obviously that has grown as you get older.
Woo, girl, yeah.
Better. But
I
yeah,
also think you realize that they're getting old and you're just like, yo.
I love my parents. I never want to say like, you know, God forbid when they're not here anymore.
Mm.
But that's inevitable. I never want to be like, wow, I never, you know,
Had a
had
relationship.
time. Yeah, or had a.
Mm.
And so, yo, I'm obsessed with. I talk to my parents on FaceTime like multiple
Every
times a
day.
day.
Oh, girl, I do it once a day. You say multiple.
Multiple. Any slight inconvenience, I grab my. I'm like,
Mama.
yeah, not even hello. I'm like, hello, mama. Oh my god, you won't believe. Like, or oh my god, Dada, or any advice, you know. If I'm like,
Mm.
oh my god, Dada, what do I do when? Oh my god, like anything, right? And so if I think back to being a bot and applying for university,
Mm.
like for me, you know, me and my family, I guess, were second. Like my parents had like college and stuff, but not in the United States. So that support, they couldn't give like in terms of, oh, I know this, this, this. They didn't know. So they gave support in other ways, like, yes, you can do it, or what do you need, or how can we like help you? Like, oh, can I can review your essays for you, things like that, you know? And then the encouragement, like applying to university is draining. Okay, looking for scholarships
Girl.
is draining. It's all draining. And so to have that support was, I think it is a blessing and a privilege. I say blessing obviously because, you know, it's a blessing to have, especially to have like your parents still like here. That's a blessing. But I say privilege because not everyone has that relationship. Not everyone has their parents around. And even if they do, not everyone has like that support. And so I say that was also like something I'll never take for granted. Something that encouraged me. And also, yeah, like they would always tell me to be bold. So also gave impetus to the bold journey.
So, okay, you get into college, you do the whole 3 years, 3 years, you do the whole shebang, right? Now, what probed you in the end to put out that post and say, you know what, I'm tired, let me put up this post? And when you put it up, did you actually expect for anything to come out of that? Because we post every day, girl. I'm on social media out here posting. Nothing is going viral. Please. Nothing is going viral. Did you expect that?
No, so like I said in the intro, I never expected it. Y'all, I wasn't sitting in my basement like I'm gonna go viral. Like, no, I feel like when you don't plan to go viral. I mean, people do. There's like courses on how to go viral and stuff. So I guess people plan, but like I had never seen at that time, that was 2015. I mean 2017, I had never seen anyone like go viral on LinkedIn. And I'm sure there's people that did. Maybe I wasn't aware or connected to them. So for me, in seeing like my phone kept crashing, I had an iPhone 6 at the time, but I think like iPhone 8 was out. So like, you know, the crashing kept happening. I ended up turning off notifications for LinkedIn, and I've had them off since that day. And my phone kept crashing. I had to delete the app off my phone because it just couldn't sustain it. Yeah, like I didn't expect.
Girl, you were going through a lot.
Like it's exciting, but at the same time, it's like overwhelming, especially when you're not used to that. Like people who get that volume on like Instagram and you know YouTube and whatever, even LinkedIn, they're like used to that. I wasn't used to that. I think when it happened in my second post, I was a little bit more like aware. But the first one, I was like, first I thought I was being hacked. And then I thought it was like fake.
God is blessing you. You are thinking you are getting hacked.
Honestly, don't put a full stop. I mean, a question mark where God put a full stop.
Amen.
I didn't want to question it, but I was questioning it. And I'll tell you something that may not be widely known. but I wanted to delete that. I wanted to delete the post, like not before. I wanted to delete it as it was going viral. And the reason is because I was like, whoa, I've already been getting rejected. Now I'm going viral. Like I'm setting myself up to get rejected by millions of people now. And so it's kind of like this imposter syndrome. Like I was like, oh, somebody said to me, like, people go viral on Facebook and Instagram, but you go viral on LinkedIn.
Girl, and that's a different ball game.
Ball game, but also it's like scarier because it's like all the future employers, all the this and that, like notable people in business, people that you're trying to break into the market, all of them are in this space. And are they gonna reject me? You know, especially after, you know, dealing with years of this rejection. And I was still in that space because I still hadn't got an internship, right? So, and it was super exciting. I will say though, in a time where it should have been like way more exciting, I'll talk about the pieces that people don't talk about. Is the people who are supposedly in your corner, who kind of like turn away almost. And so in a time which, like, y'all, this was the first time that something big like this was happening to me, right? This was the first time that I'm being talked about. Like I hadn't had an internship to post about. Even when I was going viral, there was still no internship, right? And so in this period, like I'd have friends say like, okay, we get it. Like it's enough now. Or like you do too much or whatever. And I need people to understand something that I didn't understand that I want people to understand is when people are saying that, don't let it get to you. For me, I let it get to me. And so in a time where I should have been super excited, I was like, I felt very out of place. Like I said, wanted to delete the post. I had friends telling me like, oh, maybe you're doing kind of too much, like simmer down. And I realized that it's easy for people to support somebody they don't know and get excited for somebody they don't know than it is for them to get excited for people that are close to them.
Preach.
Yeah, and that went on for a while because, you know, like I said earlier, like it took 3 months. I only got the internship in 2018 February, and then because I couldn't get to every single inbox, but people kept asking in those 3 months, and so I just put out a post like, you know, I'm gonna end up going to work at Microsoft, and then that post went viral, and that reached like over 3 million people. And for anyone curious and wanting to read more, I have an article about it that I wrote on my LinkedIn, so you can check it out. It's called "How Being Bold Landed Me an Internship at Microsoft," and so you can check out my link tree. It's in there. But after that post, you know, that went viral. CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, wrote a comment. Business Insiders talking about it, and Business Insider in like countries like Poland, India, like Singapore, and they also Poland was written in like the native language, and so I don't know how to like read that or translate. So it was like interesting. And you have so many people reaching out, right? And so that whole period, like this lasted, and it's still going on today. But if you think about it, now my friends or people I considered friends are like, oh man, we get it. Like, okay, LinkedIn, like, and in a time where I should be like excited and like, you know, talking about it, I'm like, oh, like, am I doing too much because they're saying so? And like, am I boasting? But that's one thing I'm talking about. And I want whoever's watching, like, I want to tell you, like, no, like, stop dimming your light to make yourself, to make other people feel comfortable. And I remember writing a post this year because, you know, I've been on this journey to stop dimming my light. And I wrote a post and I said, I forgive myself for dimming my light in order to make other people feel comfortable. And it was because, like, in this period that's like exciting but like overly, and it was like 0 to 100 real fast, and a lot
real quick, yeah.
And a lot of people are posting about it, and you have like Forbes writing about it, and Business Insider, like I said, and like all these huge like outlets, and yeah, like it should be an exciting time, but it was like, oh, maybe like we get it, dude, we get it, like.
But you know, my thing is with that is like, if you don't show up for yourself 100%, if you're not showing up for yourself and boasting and hyping yourself up. Who's gonna do that for you?
And you know what sucks? And you know this, like I'm everyone's hype queen. Like I love seeing people thrive. Like I get energy from, especially those around me.
She cries. She's a crier, ladies and gentlemen. She's a crier.
I'm a crier. I'm a exciting person. I'm a screamer. Because like how I was raised is like, you know, if you're eating, your neighbor is eating. Like no one is starving around you. It's a place of like community, Ubuntu, the Ngoyi Bantu, that means I am because we are. And so just having that internalized, I'm like so excited for other people, right? And a time where it's like I was like, everyone's hype queen. Y'all couldn't be a hype queen for me, even
like, where was y'all?
It was like people who didn't know me that were hyping. Oh, obviously, I'm not saying everyone who knew me wasn't excited. Like people like you were excited. My family was excited. Like my actual like people who are deeply like my friends through and through.
I was one of them.
But then it was interesting because I saw people who I guess maybe thrived off of the fact that I was not succeeding. And that was shit. Like to have them say like, yo, you talk about LinkedIn too much now. It's enough. Like, we don't need to see this anymore. It's enough. It's like, bro, this is happening. This is still happening. Like, let me get excited for me for 5 minutes before you tell me like it's enough. Or you're doing too much. Like, and so that really dragged me down. And like now that I've come out of that space where I don't care. And I'm reclaiming not only my time, but like my joy, my excitement, prioritizing that and like hyping myself up first. Not even first, but like not forgetting to hype myself up, right? And not dimming my light. I think the biggest one is I'm naturally a bright, lighted person. Like I'm naturally like a joyous person, like always smiling, like always wanting to bring joy to others. And I think like I was dimming my light because people were saying, okay, you're doing too much, like simmer down now. Like it's enough. We've heard enough about LinkedIn, like tone it down. And like, obviously, yeah, like sometimes like you can like overshare and overdo things, but okay, let it be like let me at least enjoy it for a little bit before you shut me down. And so I'll say like those were like the ups and the I love giving the full 360, like the glitz, the glam, but also like the rotten tomatoes. Like
that's me too. Like and you know that's the thing. I think like we see a lot of people and we're like, oh, this person is a celebrity. Oh wow, Akosua got a job at Microsoft. But a lot of people wouldn't have shown that journey that you went through because you kind of took us through the journey, right? You took us, girl. We still there.
Hilarious.
We been through it. So that's one thing I appreciate about you. You actually took us through the journey. You showed us the lows, the highs, the turnarounds, the hung, the whom, the air. You showed it to us all. So that was something that I really appreciate by watching your journey and was truly inspired by that. And that's why even with my life now and even my social media, I'm like, I want to show people that I'm succeeding, right? I want to share the good news with people. But as well, I don't want people to always think that this is what it always is.
Always is, yeah.
It takes a lot to get to where we are, you know? And people that aspire to be where we are should know what it really takes. So with that being said, I want to ask you a question, right? And we talked about it, but I want to ask it directly. Okay. What do you think is your purpose in this lifetime?
Akosua Boadi-Agyemang, and I'm a junior at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. My name is differently to make yourself, apparent, make yourself known. And that's why I did that bold move. People, employers, recruiters, or just people in general, watch how best you can ride the wave in the midst of adversity. So are you going to sink or are you going to swim?
Wow, I think to uplift people, like I know that, like, and I haven't really figured out how I'm going to do it through and through. But after I got the internship, I was ready to stop posting. I was, and then I took a time to go through like the messages and try and respond in a time when like it was easier to respond. So much better. You don't get to even back then I couldn't get to all the messages, but as I was reading them, like I got messages from people saying like, I want my daughter to have the boldness that you do, or I'm a 40-year-old woman and you're inspiring me, like never stop going. Like people I had never met were sending these messages, and or international students like were saying like, I'm still struggling, but after watching you, I know it's possible. And I never saw people like international students share their story before. So I like to, what I want to see, I fill that void. If I see that there's a void and I want to see that, I'll like do it. And so there was no one talking about or sharing the international student experience, especially in the United States. And so I did it, right? And they would send me messages like, you give me hope, you help me. And I was like, well, I can't stop posting now. I can't stop talking about this now because by posting, I'm not only helping myself and giving myself encouragement, I'm uplifting other people along with me. I love lifting as I climb. Like,
and you always use this. This lift as you climb.
Yes, I love bringing people along the journey. I don't like eating alone. When people say like it's lonely at the top, maybe it's because you forgot to bring people along with you. And so for me, I don't want to be lonely at the top. I love bringing people along with me, and especially those who appreciate it. And I never like force anyone to appreciate. I'm a silent I'll help you and bye, okay? Because people do it on their own. If I give somebody a tip and I'm like, oh hey, this, and then they go, and I love watching their journey. People soaring, people. I don't know what that position is, and I go through and find, places in my job to do that, and doing LinkedIn lives or interviews like with you and other people, or talking about my experiences, the whole picture, talking about what it's like to, be on leave for 3 months while waiting for immigration documents and not knowing if you're going to get them, not knowing when you're going to get them. Having to leave a country you've been calling home multiple times, but also talking about the exciting parts of meeting people, and being in exciting like jobs and exciting spaces and traveling people's minds, sharing all of those spaces and all of that information with people and seeing them light up and seeing them encouraged, seeing them uplifted. I love that. That fills my cup. And so I don't know how to explain that full purpose, but I know that's part of the purpose in life. And I'm still chasing it. I'm still chasing my purpose, but that gives me joy. People really gives me joy in whatever sphere. I used to think I was going to be a doctor.
I was going to be a pediatrician.
Yeah, I knew from a very young age that I wanted to help people. I wanted to uplift people. I wanted to motivate. I wanted to inspire. I used to say, aspire to inspire before you expire.
Fire.
And you know, a very popular saying. I used to say, and like now that I'm older, I'm like, whoa, like I didn't have to be a doctor to help. You know, I still help in whatever. And if you're a person who's like, I love, you know, uplifting people and I love helping, but I'm not in the field to do it, make it happen in whatever you feel you're in. Find ways, because people in any and every capacity need help. Okay.
We all need a little bit of help about something.
About anything. And so as long as you have life, as long as you have breath, you're in a position to uplift somebody.
I mean, you know, for me as well, this is my thing. This is GET is my baby. This is how I truly believe I'm going to be able to help people, and also just with the content that I produce, right? I just hope that it reaches a wider audience at a certain point, but that's a different story. And
no, that will never stop
going though.
Consistency. Yep.
And you know what I've realized about myself and just like the people around me is that once you make your purpose bigger than you, just you, and make it super selfish, you get this, it's a different sense of momentum that just drives you.
Yeah.
It's a different type of passion. Every morning you wake up and there's just a different energy that pushes you.
Yep.
So with that being said, what drives you on a daily basis? Like, what's your daily affirmation in the morning? Do you have any affirmations?
You just said, like, I know my purpose in this life is bigger than me. I get messages from people, like I've already said, telling me how I've helped them. I'm like, oh wow, like that helped you. Like, you know, I intentionally, like, whether it's active or passive helping, I want my active and passiveness in this life to help. And ever capacity, right? My cup gets filled over doing that for people. But understanding that we're right where we're supposed to be. We already have a life that's predestined, but remembering that faith without works is dead. So continuing to do the work. Okay. And so in whatever that is, for me, just being energized comes from a place of knowing that, you know, I'm pouring and uplifting people. And so I do that through the bold journey, because I do believe like the bold journey is bigger than me. Like I share stories, whether my own, whether other people through LinkedIn Live or any live video or any interviews like this with GT. But I definitely feel that like in helping people and in being there for people and sharing stories that people can see like, oh, I'm not alone, that I'm not the only one going through this, that there is a community. And, you know, even if it's something just small in your story that may resonate with somebody, that gives me, I don't even know.
It's different, right?
It's different. I was like, girl, you've been posting on LinkedIn for a while, and I don't even realize how long it's been. And that's because like it comes from a place of the bold journey is bigger than me. Everybody needs a bold journey in their own right. Everybody is dealing with something we know nothing about. And so if I can be a speck in helping uplift and helping, you know, people want to continue, I'm going to do that, because I've been in that space where continuation is hard.
And that's, I want to say, like, all of us have some form of impact, right? And all of us have some form of impact in somebody's life.
Yeah.
The slightest interaction with the next person, even in the hallway as you're walking, that is going to have an impact somehow. So it's about choosing exactly how you're going to have an impact in somebody's life. It's about being intentional about that. I think both you and I have that in common, because we're also very intentional about how we want to do it, right? When you do something, you just go at it and you don't look back, because you're like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. So you mentioned like wanting to help people, but with helping people, I've realized that sometimes I myself feel stuck. I get moments where I'm just like, not today.
No. Yeah.
How do you get through that? Like, what keeps you grounded in moments like that?
So for me, like, going back to that piece of consistency, like, I'm not on anyone's, like, I guess, timeline. I'm not trying to fill a quota. I'm not trying to, do as many posts as I can. I'm not trying to, like, reach a number of followers. I'm not trying to, like, go viral. I'm not trying for any of that. So in putting out content or in responding to people's messages or creating templates for people or being in interviews with people or whatever it is, giving people feedback, reviewing resumes, whatever it is, I'm doing it on, like, not trying to please anyone, not trying to not trying to hit a certain metric. I just decide, like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and, like, I expect nothing in return, right? And so, that just, like, makes it easy in terms of taking the time to, if I need to, like, step away, I'll step away. Like, when I was dealing with the like immigration leave and stuff like that, like, I was like, yo, I'm not about to do LinkedIn lives and stuff. I didn't put out a notice. Like, no one really knew that I would, whatever. Like, I just stopped. I just stopped. And that's, like, literally what it is. Like, if you're, like, some people can't do that, right? And I think it's also finding what works for you. I found what works for me. I don't have, like, a content calendar. I don't have, like, pre-created content and stuff, but that works for me. That may not work for you, right? Like, I feel like for me, finding what works for me was important, right? And that's what I always tell people. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna share how I do what I do, but I don't want you to take it as, like, you have to do it too. Find what works for you. Try a bunch of different things if you need to, but find what works for you. And that's how I stayed consistent, right? I know that, like, it's bigger than me. But I kept posting, though, because, like, I know that it encourages me. And if I'm needing encouragement, there's a whole slew of people out there that needs encouragement, because we're all humans. We're literally all humans. I need motivation. I know there's at least one person in the world. And I've always told myself, you've only got to impact one person.
Just one.
Millions. You don't. If you've impacted one person's life, you've made impact, period.
That's literally my morning affirmation, is to at least make one person's day. At least make them smile, make them even laugh. Kiki kai, kiki. I'm happy.
All you gotta do is impact one person to literally make a difference. It creates a domino effect. And so, or butterfly effect, or whatever effect you want to call it, but it goes on to do its own thing. You just got to impact positively. I like saying positively impact one person. And that's why, like, my LinkedIn, like, headline is creating positive impact one bold step at a time.
I love that. And so, does this translate into other areas of your life? Like, I mean,
what other areas? Like, I'm trying.
Like the bold journey, does that translate into other areas of your life? Like, maybe a lucky somebody in the life, Is there a lucky somebody?
Oh my gosh!
Is the Microsoft girl looking?
Oh my god!
Girl, we're spilling tea. You thought this was just gonna be business?
What? This is so funny. Wow. It translates into other areas of my life, like friendships, family relationships, any other relationships. I'm pretty bold. I'm looking for a significant other. Wow. I will say, I mean, I don't know, whatever, God's plan. I just will say, yes, I am single. Okay.
Come on, y'all. The DMs are open. You're an eligible bachelorette. Like, most eligible bachelorette is you.
Oh my God, this is so funny. But yeah, it translates. The bold journey is literally like I said like earlier, right? Like I've been living my life like this. It predates LinkedIn. It predates LinkedIn. It predates the hashtag. And I think that's why the hashtag was so organic. Like it literally came in that like first post because it predates it, right? And I've shown people like I used to write like motivational quotes on paper, like if it's motivational quotes, if it's like scripture that uplifts people, I used to paste it on my door. Like, and I would say like anyone who comes into my room, like they'll be able to read that. If it was something that motivated me or uplifted me, I would like stick it on my door so that whoever entered like my space, they will always.
That is beautiful.
And so if it was like my friends who are coming over or
that
like
is so
family members. Yeah, and so like that's like a post, right? Like you write it down on paper and you stick it on your door. That's literally making a post. Like it's just like now my platforms have changed. Instead of me writing it down on paper and sticking it on my door, I write it on LinkedIn and post it to the world. So it predates LinkedIn. It predates, the viral posts. But yeah, like I'm bold in other aspects of my life, and all relationships. And yeah, I am single.
Hello, most eligible bachelor. Y'all hit my girl up. It gotta go through me first. I'll filter the resumes.
It's like Bumble online I mean, Bumble is online, but I mean like virtual, like what? Like interview Bumble.
Actually, that's actually quite interesting. I want to ask you a question. When you go on like, I don't know if you're on any dating sites, do people has anybody ever recognized you as the girl from LinkedIn?
Yeah, it's honestly like it's been a low-key like blocker. I don't know the first word on your show, but it's been a low-key blocker sometimes. But yeah, a couple of people I've had people like ask me for jobs. I've had someone say verbatim, I didn't realize that this was this was Hinge. I didn't realize that Hinge was for LinkedIn influencers.
Come on.
I was so like caught off guard. I actually deleted the app that day. I was like, what is this? And that was my first day.
And it's actually supposed to be better than all the other ones.
Yeah.
That
was my first day on Hinge, and I was like, whoa, this is weird. And it's also weird because
So would you say that everywhere, even apart from like Hinge and dating apps, that your reputation, what does English say? Succeeds you. Your English. Like your people know about you. Let me just use my basic English. I beg. People know about you before you enter into places. Which you say that happens quite a bit, like where you get recognized.
I mean, it's not like a Beyonce. It doesn't happen like Beyonce. It happens like low key. Like I've been at so last year I was going to like the Forbes conference, and there was a lot of people going to the Forbes conference. So you're gonna have a lot of people who utilize like LinkedIn and like follow me on LinkedIn. So when I was at the airport, I did get stopped quite a bit. That was my first time ever being stopped at the airport. 4 times when I was like arriving, and then it happened like 3 times when I was like going back to Seattle. So you see, not like a Beyonce like thing where like everyone's
still happening though.
And then in Detroit, it happened quite a bit because like people were like, oh, whoa, like LinkedIn girl. And then like when I first moved to Bellevue, like when I first moved in, there was quite a bit of people that lived like from Amazon, Microsoft, and LinkedIn that lived in like my apartment building in like the area. So people like I would be looking busted, like just dead, going to like the French bakery across from my apartment, and like people are like, oh my god, girl, you're Akosua from LinkedIn. Or like I've had 2 times like a delivery person like say to me like, oh, I follow you on LinkedIn.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, like it was, yeah.
Wow, I didn't think it was that crazy. Imagine you're about to deliver food and you're like, whoa. It's you. So just
It's not like a lot. Like I'm not like celebrity Beyonce, like I don't know, Taylor Swift. It doesn't happen like that. Like I've been in places where like more often than not, I'm in places where people don't know.
So now, about just as we close off, right? I want to ask you two more questions. The first one being, what are some of the things or comments or things that people do or say to you that are just kind of like, that have gotten like when people ask you a question, you're just like, I've talked about this, I've done this, like things
I
that
think it's like the one that gets me all the time is like when people message me and they're like, "Hey, refer me to Microsoft," and that's the first ever message that they've ever said to me is, "Hey, refer me to Microsoft." Like they haven't said hi, how are you doing in life? Not like I expect them to. I think what I would prefer, even if you leave out the hi, how are you, because that's small talk, just get to the point. More of the tell me who you are, tell me why you're a fit for a position. People don't even put the position; they just say refer me to Microsoft. Okay, what job? What are you trying to do? What are your, that one is like, whoa. And I've actually written a post about how to, because you want to give feedback. So instead of being like, oh my God, like I also say like, okay, this is how to adequately ask for a referral, especially if you're going to ask somebody you don't know, have never spoken to. So that's one that I always get. And also I get the automated. So on LinkedIn, if you're connected to somebody, you can like send automated referrals. I prefer somebody, especially if we're connected, like I'd expect like you to actually like send a non-automated ask for a referral. That would be nice. So that one, and I'm not a gatekeeper to anything. Like I don't own a company. So I'm more than happy to help anyone do whatever. It's just like, there's just, tell me a little bit about yourself and don't be like so aggressive. I've had people, I guess to like part 2 of that, I've had people be very demanding. Like I've had somebody literally say to me like, oh, you say you help international students, but you won't respond to my message and you won't get me a job at Microsoft. And I'm like, whoa. I beg. I'm not a Microsoft whisperer. I'm literally an entry-level employee. Well, okay, like it's been a year now. So I was an entry-level employee, but like I'm early in career, like, and not like I'm downplaying my abilities, but I'm just like, whoa, like I'm not.
I think it's also a matter of just realizing that there's another person on the other side of the screen, right? There's another person with emotions. There's another person with emotions, with problems as well, with ups, with downs. There's a person, flesh and blood, just as I am. And there's a certain level of decency that you should approach them with. Respect as well.
Lead with grace and empathy. Like, but oh well.
It is what it is. So y'all, when you hit up my girl with some respect, or you gonna have me to deal with.
No, stop. But no, it's totally fine. I think like it doesn't, like I'm not mad or angry at it. I'm just like, whoa, like if you're sending me these kind of messages, like you're also sending other people, and like, yo, you could definitely learn, like, because we've all been there. We've all been in that.
Yeah, because that person could be a boss.
Yeah, looking for a job, you're always like, pandering, like you're always sweating, nervous. Like sometimes you do things that you didn't even like think you would. So like I have empathy and grace for like the people sending me messages as well. So even though they do say like, oh, refer me and stuff like that, that's why I write posts like, oh, this is a greater way, like in my opinion, a more suitable way to ask somebody, especially if you don't know them, and give constructive feedback and like helpful feedback so that people can like actually utilize it instead of just being like mad about it. So that's what I do. And like write posts and like helpful advice for that. Because it's looking for an internship or a full-time or even having a career switch, it's stressful.
Girl, I've been getting rejected, but I mean things are looking up, but I've been getting rejected. It's a lot.
It's hard.
It's a lot. But things are coming together. That's all I'm going to say for now. So thank you so much, Nana. But last and final question: what can we expect to see from you? You know, in the next couple of days, because you
the next couple
quick. You move quick.
I don't know. In future, I don't know. Like, you don't want to reveal too much, you know. Like, I could be in a movie. I could be in a show. I could be a CEO tomorrow. You never know. I'm speaking it into existence though. But honestly, like, expect more content, more uplifting content, more useful content. Expect more LinkedIn Lives, more interviews. Expect a possible TED Talk.
Hello, ma'am.
Expect me. This is me taking this time to speak it into existence, honey. Expect to see me sometime before I'm 30 on Forbes 30 under 30. Who knows? I don't know. Expect a publication, maybe. A memoir publication, possibly.
As you're saying all these things, I know you're capable. You are very capable that tomorrow we'll see newspaper. Oh, guys, look, I've been featured in the Forbes 30 and guys, oh my gosh.
You can expect like a publication, like me to be an author soon. You never know. Like,
I love that you never know in the end.
We're all living the bold journey. So out here trying to be bold. So you never know what can happen. Like, not even the sky can hold me back, and not even the sky should hold you back.
Come on.
It's not the limit. It's not. Our limit is, I guess, when we're no longer on this earth. But I will say prioritizing yourself and your mental health, super important. So in whatever that looks like for you, take a step back. I take a step back, and I'm not afraid to say, I'm not responding. I also hate texting. So like, yeah. You get a response from me. Like, I've said it multiple times. It's not my strong suit. I've also started doing like Ask Me Anything. So ask Akosua anything. In order
to on like a LinkedIn Live or
that's a LinkedIn Live. I started the first one like yesterday. Because like my inbox gets super full and I can't get to everyone's question, but so many people ask the same question. So I was like, if I just do an Ask Akosua Anything, people can, watch it, rewatch it, replay it. They can ask their questions live. And yeah.
Okay.
Expect to see the unexpected.
Yeah, no, hey, yeah, with you, I don't doubt that, eh? Listen, guys, this one I don't doubt it. This one. Thank you so much, babes, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Honestly, you are an inspiration. You are just such a great energy and a great motivator. Even when you're not doing anything or saying anything, I can literally just be down. Please, this is the last time you're going to hear this. So you have the footage to watch it. I don't say these things too often. But you're honestly such a great inspiration for me. And, I think through watching you and your journey, I've been able to kind of get onto my journey and be very intentional and bold in everything that I do, right? And and this has translated into me having an impact in other people's lives. As you said, the butterfly domino effect. So honestly, thank you so much on behalf of myself and some of the people who might be watching this. Thank you so much, and keep doing the good work. Honestly, God bless you. God bless you. God bring all blessings to you. God keep blessing you. God give you pepper. God give you pepper. And everybody watching this, please, I hope that you've been able to get a lot of wisdom and be elevated from this conversation, that you can start getting on your bold journey. And you know what? Don't put a full stop where God put a comma. Okay? Keep at it. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye.
Bye, y'all. Thanks.